Hey there, fellow wanderers. You've just arrived at the dawn of the 15th century, and the crisp night air in Japan is a blend of sea salt and the distant smoke of wood fires from the small village before you. The moon hangs heavy, casting elongated shadows across the uneven landscape. That breeze you feel is a ghostly remnant from another time, a foreboding whisper of the mysteries and trials that lie ahead. This is no fairy tale. Unlike the safety of your cozy room, your journey begins under the oppressive silence of an ancient night, where echoes of nature's power dance on the edge of your senses. Imagine the ground beneath your feet is unstable, as if the earth itself holds its breath, waiting for something to change. It's chilly, more so than your modern conveniences would ever allow. The smell, too organic, tangy, with a hint of brine, speaks to a life without the sterile assurance of air conditioning or dehumidifiers. So, before we dive deeper, I ask only this. If this kind of raw, unvarnished truth speaks to you, click like, hit subscribe, and leave a trace of yourself in the comments. Tell me your city, your time, your state of mind. Now, dim the lights. Let the hum of your fan blend with the wind of centuries past. Let's begin. And remember, in medieval times, even survival was a luxury. You step into a realm where life is rugged, simplicity reigns, and the everyday is a tapestry woven with threads of both hardship and quiet beauty. In this world, the bright facade of modern convenience is stripped away, revealing the raw contours of existence that peoples past had navigated. The life of a 15th century Japanese villager is a delicate balance, a dance with nature, tethered to the earth's whims. As you start to walk through this dimly lit village, clusters of wooden structures come into view. Each is meticulously crafted, striking a harmony between form and function. The ambience plays on your skin, a mix of warmth emanating from carefully tended fires and the cool, palpable tension in the air. People are shadows at this late hour, moving with a purpose dictated by the rhythm of moonlight hours. You can hear the crackle of the firewood and the distant lull of the ocean's waves, much quieter than the roar you'd expect, considering the looming threat it harbors. Your feet guide you past silent rice fields, their dark waters reflecting an inky night sky, under which frogs croak in a chorus of incoherent warnings. Every sense is amplified here, every sound a harbinger of the tales yet untold. You know, making peace with nature is crucial. A simple miscalculation could mean the difference between resilience and ruin. Now, imagine making sense of this ancient world. You're in an era without the cushioned layers of technological distraction. You can't Google how to survive a tsunami or send a quick text to ask for help. Communication is a collection of coded messages passed in hushed conversations, or gestures, the powerful wave of an elderly hand, the tense adjustments of the villagers' expressions. Historians still argue whether these past societies had detailed warning systems or if they just hoped the gods favored them. Here, life isn't adorned with superfluous amenities. There's a directness in how things are done. Perhaps you'd call it harsh. You tread a path worn by countless feet before you, noting the worn-out rock beneath. Perhaps some paths aren't chosen through courage, but necessity. Under thousands of layers of starlight, there's a profound stillness, an expectation of what's to come. Your mind fills with half-forgotten school lessons about earthquakes and oceanic activity, but those tidbits seem pale and insignificant when faced with the crushing weight of this corporeal world. You're a visitor to an age when oral histories and fragmented records are the only shield against forgetfulness. There's something tragically comedic about it. Spend thousands on gadgets and apps to bring us back to mindfulness, when all it might actually take is being thrust into the past, to a time when existence itself mandated presence. Like remembering that time you clumsily balanced on one foot, as a child playfully on a beam. Here you teeter on the edge of survival. Gravity replaced with reality pulling you from all sides. The thought of meeting the Oceano liner. No pontoon tinges your stomach with genuine fear. A gut-deep understanding of how the villagers must have felt each night as they settled under makeshift roofs, eyes toward the waters, waiting. Sleep will not come easily, not until you surrender to the timeline, let the centuries cradle you, and accept the world in its unadulterated state. With the ground beneath your feet prone to quivering occasionally, an ever-looming promise of nature's indifference, humility becomes survival's cornerstone. No Wi-Fi, no escape button, just an endless stretch of seas and the ancient lullabies of Japanese winds. Eventually, you begin to drift, drowsiness coaxed by the rhythmic crashing of waves outside this realm, their song both eerie and comforting. Welcome to 15th century Japan, where adventure transcends fantasy and reality dances with unpredictability. Sweet dreams. You continue wandering through the midnight tapestry of 15th century Japan, where the past feels palpable, as if history's fabric attempts to snare your unaccustomed senses. The stars overhead blink cryptically as if to light your path through this enigmatic era. Yet, as you trudge along ancient cobblestones and pass whispers of bamboo rustling in the breeze, a nagging thought grates at the back of your mind. How would you endure this world, stripped of all modern conveniences and knowledge? You start to realize how ill-prepared you are to navigate the complexities of this medieval setting. Gone are the taps at your fingertips to summon Ubers or creature comforts with a few spell-checked words. Instead, understanding and survival require an intricate dance with nature and cultural norms, none of which are second nature to you. Historians still argue whether the average Joes of the 15th century had innate bushcraft skills, or if they bumbled through life, akin to modern souls sans GPS. Survivability here relies not on the stockpiled understanding of detailed Wikipedia articles, but on knowledge passed through generations. And you, dear temporal traveller, are more familiar with double espresso shots than foraging for wild edibles or massacring silence to interpret nature's subtle hints. Under the fragile light of paper lanterns, you notice villagers going about their nightly routines. Their motions a testament to ritual are, guided by countless moons before this one. The familiarity of these actions almost lulls you into a sense of security. Yet, there's the crude reminder that long-gone outcomes are outcomes nonetheless. They did not get there by whimsy, but by enduring what nature threw their way. Farming, trading, and inherently knowing the land's language. It's an ancient rhythm you have yet to master, akin to watching a symphony without hearing the music. Within this world where instant messaging isn't a concept but swift-footed messengers might be, navigation depends on landmarks, the twisted paw of a leaning tree signaling left, a conspicuous rock meaning right. Your inner cartographer squirms. The lines and grids you rely on for direction are sentiments of a century unknown to these people. Here, you're entrusting your bearings to the smoke reading or the topology of stars, an age-old GPS involving more than satellites spinning overhead. Not to mention, each step finds you mindful of cultural traps, those unspoken do's and don'ts scrawled invisibly in the dust beneath your feet. Distinct greetings and nods convey more than words alone, and a misplaced gesture might offend where none was intended. It's a precarious walk, getting it right without starting a miniature riot. Humor hides in expectation as you awkwardly join the camp of tourists mentally, nudging at misunderstandings with earnest posturing. The mundane turns tyrannous. Before modern medicine, illness struck fear akin to an impending storm. No aspirin to unwind headaches or antibiotics to ward off infections. Here, potions brewed with soothing herbs hold sway, a testament to nature's pharmacy. Yet, a potion won't fix a bad interpretation of holistic healing, nor your reliance on cold compresses chilled by 1600s ingenuity. Now, whilst navigating the village becomes a touch overwhelming, you might romanticize an archaic lifestyle. Ship that reality check moment, though, where the romantic juxtaposes with the rawness of life more nerves than cardigans knitted by nostalgia. You miss the simplicity of casual chats replaced by intentional accommodations with strangers, acquaintances formed round shared fires, and spoken tales born from vaporous breath in freezing air. Yet, not even midnight treks knit perspicacity, the depth behind their murmuring lights, leading wafted memories that trickle beyond the village border. Primitive, you might first conclude, only to find these humble beings pull from countless cords, untangling your conjectures on a life unadorned. Your fantasies of returning to simpler times are spurred by convenience, but refined by a night here like exquisitely forged steel. Nothing morphs quicker than midnight encounters, embracing their lessons yet etching onto yours in the cracks of your soul. You glimpse the contours of residents trudging around wooden structures steeped in history's ultraviolet. Cloaked in darkness, they meld with the shadows, silhouettes pressing forward, an incomprehensible determination charged with finding the rare peace available here under a star-stitched canopy. Already you feel the pull homeward, not just in refuge but curiosity. What lends dance to their routines and vibrancy to their silhouettes? Human fears of misunderstanding outweigh the thought of forever beckoning. You weren't meant to make this journey alone, but laden alongside strangers with flickering lanterns, sharing whispered uncertainties. In this land, they encapsulate the safety nets that are soft if frayed, netting unbeknownst points across a wide-spanned atlas of possibility. As night deepens, a fragile tranquility encircles you. The weighty air becomes a companion, yet another layer demanding your senses' contribution. You're learning without opening a book, gaining insight without sitting through lectures. Embrace this journey for what it represents: a portal to the unfathomably similar, yet different past that echoes into the present through timeless lessons. An enigma, if you will, tethered to you by a heartbeat echoing across centuries. Each inhaled breath bears weight in uncertain terrain, though watching the faint embers talk unspoken tells of a nuanced Vichalia. A closed sweep of eyelashes snares another moment of tranquility before your conscience peels away, a compass nudging your spiritual cadence onward. Here the magic and trials shadow one another unrepentantly, teasing salvation in simplicity. Wandering pawns become their own compass, your steps on a testament far from yours, in a world hugging its introspection within these timber spaces. A lifetime of unpaved roadways sketched in trial. So pause. Listen. Try and whip your ancestral sapient predilections into concert. Crawl into your time-binded cocoon, drifting until sleep becomes undisturbed by questions unanswered, crying, unfazed. Would it change you? Were you even ready for what lies yet ahead? The fragile ephemerality of human memory holds steadfast. Sweet dreams weave the night's tale. As you delve deeper into the heart of 15th century Japan, the night presses in around you, embracing you in its cool, silent breath. It's almost as if the darkness is drawing you towards the shore, where something ancient and formidable slumbers beneath the water. Your path takes you toward a rugged coastline, bathed in silver light as the moon's reflection dances across the restless sea. The tides seem to pulse with a hidden energy, far more than a mere rhythmic pull and push of water meeting land. You sense an intimate connection between these people and their environment, and understanding, almost an agreement. Yet, here's where you come face to face with nature's often unpredictable temperament. Imagine standing on that edge, where land meets ocean, knowing full well that in this era, the powers of the sea can change the fate of an entire village in the blink of an eye. A singular fact resonates through time. Japan, seated on the Pacific Ring of Fire, is a land frequently overshadowed by nature's fury, where earthquakes and tsunamis write narratives as old as the settlements dotting these lands. Even without the modern understanding of tectonics, the villagers feel this certainty in their bones, a world literally shifting beneath their feet. Tonight, the whispers of the waves tell tales without words, subtle indicators of underlying tensions. You feel it to an anticipatory electricity, tingling in tune with the nerve endings along your spine, an uncanny harbinger of what might come. You notice how the seasoned fishermen, whose daily lives are interwoven with the tides, become your weathered barometers. Their hushed tones speak volumes. They've seen this all before. No warning sirens exist to breach the night stillness. Instead, the villagers rely on centuries-old wisdom and a sixth sense sharpened by necessity to gauge the ocean's mood. There's a hint of fear in the cautious glances they throw toward the sea, a readiness to respond swiftly if those intuitional alarm bells sound. Isn't it ironic, you muse, that we have forecasting apps but still find ourselves unprepared? You're wrapped in layers against the chill, yet nothing quite wards off the pervasive cold spawned by sheer anticipation. Historians continue to debate how adept these communities truly were at predicting tsunamis. Did ancestral knowledge suffice, or did they simply brace for nature's caprices? The sea's whispers tonight, punctuated by the cries of nocturnal birds, seem to issue its own challenge. Can you read us before it's too late? The weather is a capricious companion, Wind gusts play with your hair, teasing strands into your eyes, a disheveled testament to the night's unpredictability. Overhead, clouds drift, intermittently masking the moon, each of their movements a reminder of nature's intransigent whims. And even though fear flirts with your mind, there's an undeniable exhilaration in facing this raw wilderness, in daring it to show its cards. You glimpse how villagers prepare themselves in the absence of concrete data, just an instinct and readiness, deeply ingrained in their DNA. Each house is a bastion, perched with an eye on the rising tide, whether it's daylight or starlight. They understand that the tide carries stories as old as creation itself, from quiet evenings to the great waves that remind them of their fragility. A gentle reminder, not all hope resides in forecasts or technology, tangible things you might depend on, but perhaps in the deeper understanding of the environment and simple, yet profound, physical signs. An age-old adage emerges in your consciousness. When waves recede too quickly or the sea floor becomes exposed, it's not a revelation. It's nature clearing its throat before delivering a performance no one wishes to see on replay. Despite modern advancements, remember that certain cues remain timeless in essence, connecting us to those who came before. Like a shared ritual, it transcends time, weaving a legacy of respect for the land and sea around us. The air grows heavier as the hours pass, everything becoming increasingly poignant. It's that surefire, unspoken knowledger, bated breath before the crescendo. Villagers nearby have congregated into small groups, laden with wisdom passed through generations, clutching woven charms and invoking protection through words lost to translation. Realizing you'd never given much thought before to those tokens wrapped in their Hansa quirk, oft overlooked by outsiders, you find yourself in awe. They symbolically fortify the spirit, a delicate truce between superstition and reality. It dawns on you. Here, in the quietude of night, life is an ancient dance. You can almost hear Gaia's melody in the waves' crash, a subtle intricacy layered beneath life's complications. Conversations occur in hushed tones, like whispered confessions exchanged between the ocean's inhalations and exhalations. As time stretches and space bends under the moon's watchful gaze, you remain learning, shaping nuance in each breath taken. Is this foreknowledge or fondness en route to wisdom? It hums beneath your own steady breathing, translating that which has always been present but rarely acknowledged until now. You can almost laugh at how this seems akin to deciphering lyrics to soundtracks meant solely for the tactile mind. The tide continues its sinuous journey toward shore, and in that, you find the narrative stitched through your own life. These rhythms evoke echoes of another era, where humanity dances intimately with the tides and fierce winds alight. And so, while the waves crash yet again, you learn just a little bit more about the intricate beauty found in a world unapologetically unasked. For where headlines have no dominion, and rumors spool undocumented through cosmic design, sweet dreams now as your own character charts forth ever deeper into Origin's delight. As you make your way back toward the heart of the village, away from the beckoning sea, you find yourself enveloped by the rhythmic pulse of life. The small village stands as an intricate tapestry, woven with threads of resilience and continuity. Unlike the sprawling cities of your modern world, here the scale is intimate, almost like a diorama drawn to evoke each of your senses. Wood and paper structures line narrow, winding paths, their eaves whispering secrets above your head. The smell of earth mixed with the faint aroma of cooked rice lingers in the night air, a reminder of the modest yet rich fare that sustains these people. You walk along pathways softly quilted by fallen leaves, conscientiously avoiding your own version of faux pas by treading lightly through this intricate snapshot of time. The night somehow feels more vivid here, each sound an individual note contributing to the village's symphony. Dogs, unseen but keenly watchful, bark occasionally, an animal chorus responding to the night's dark script. You hear the laughter of children playing a game, their silhouettes weaving between shadows reflecting a fleeting innocence where the present erodes away their tomorrow's chores. Inside a nearby dwelling, the dim light filters through paper walls, casting abstract patterns that dance quietly against bamboo rods. Families gather around low tables, holds more than a meal, it's a communion, a place for shared stories, laughter, solemnity, and memories etched over bowls of simple broth and rice, nourishing roots as much as leaves. Your own table at home suddenly seems larger, colder, attended by fewer souls. In this village, built partly from dreams and fully from sweat, people thrive through cooperation. Each person is not an isolated island, but a crucial thread in the greater weave. There's camaraderie in seeing yourself in others, in sharing toil and triumph. Individual problems become lighter when served against the backdrop of collective resilience. And dare you tread with more latitude, you'd unlikely find the solitude some seek today in this calloused honed tapestry. Yet, ingenuity should not be underestimated, especially by someone from a future where self-reliance often means outsourcing for delivery. Whether blueprints for a secure livelihood or symbolic tools like straw amulets, binding protection, the villagers have established layers of constants meant to withstand the unyielding whims of nature you felt near the sea. Water, food, shelter resources, shared among them, ebb and flow in relevance, finding rhythm as steady and comforting as the night's caress. And don't forget the children little figures with quizzical gazes that pierce through years you wear. They tug at your coat or skin what descends below earth-toned fabric, all infectious hope and a future not yet wedded to contemplation. For this village's theorem, let history be as instructive as she needs to be. Emotionally, their wide smiles embody something universal, yet here encased in carvings old as time. It's a living museum, where play is both the classroom and the teacher. In this setting, with each tug or glancing brush, your mind echoes temporal laughter, and the cycle closes as intangible nostalgia. And even without knowing the long-term fate of the village you explore, you feel interwoven with their story. Every turn of phrase, every nuanced nod, hints at an unspoken faith in repetition that even among adversity, they would rise again like years always do, reborn as fields' bosoms nurturing new tender shoots. Historians have long pondered how such villages could remain steadfast amid calamity. Some argue it's this essence of community that armored them against time's darkest hours. Others claim it's simply fate's benevolent whim. You gather notes, grateful for mysteries never wholly solved but rather artfully turned on the lathe of academia. So while modern roadmaps may dot lines with progress and equilibrium, ancient sketched settlements pull distinctions from long-rested foundations beneath. Such spaces remind you that, while technology stitches societies closer, connecting lives together oceans apart, feeds ancient wisdom. Such nights dance to life, profound reflections witnessing yesteryear woven into today beneath infinite skies. As the evening breathes softly around you, undisturbed, your mind returns to thoughts of prowling tsunamis, vast waves breaking bonds despite walls and resolve. The delicate poise between then and now underscores that life strikes its most beautiful balance amidst imperfection, cultivating strength beneath tentative skies. Landscapes of how you endure, and so they do together. With the village settling into a gentle hush, you tread softly, learning what you can amid shuttered windows. A tender obligation to etch such insights in your mind. You are a student again in this open school without walls, not needing doors to delineate neither blackboard nor syllabus, finding peace, reminding one that wisdom is gathered between remembered dreams and fragile relics, stored safely in distant tribes. The night ages slowly, every breath creating a tapestry all your own. Sweet dreams cradle this embrace of simplicity, texturing dreams with tales spun from moonbeams cast long after shadows fade. The night silence wraps around you like a well-worn cloak as you continue your exploration. You step cautiously through the village, the soft creak of wooden planks underfoot adding a rhythmic accompaniment to the nocturnal symphony. The cultural intricacies of 15th century Japan gradually unfold before you, structured on tradition, respect, and an unspoken understanding of one's place within the societal web. Here, every gesture counts. You quickly learn that curtailing a bow too sharply, or failing to use the correct honorific titles, could lead to unintended offense. The subtleties of language are a dance intricately woven into everyday interactions. This isn't just about words, it's about how they align with posture, tone, and context. You'd better brush up on honoring the intricacies of the Japanese language, because a slip here isn't just embarrassing. It could alter the narrative of relationships and community standing. Try as you might, Catching every nuance is more challenging than solving a Sudoku with no numbers. But there's a silver lining. The villagers meet your blunders not with disdain but with gentle amusement, a quirk that makes them simultaneously inscrutable and endearing. After all, their faces often mirror the seasonal changes. They have long been in tune, with subtle rises and falls, smiles lingering like cherry blossoms falling, only to rise again in spring. Interpersonal connections here don't need the excess of digital screens. They exist right in front of you, tangible and almost electric, invoking a curious nostalgia for something you've never actually lived. There are no texts or emojis to interpret feelings. Instead, there is body language's unspoken weight, eye contact's eloquence, and a shared humanity in simple acts like sharing a cup of tea or a communal meal. And so, you realize the ordinariness you once took for granted has a profoundness woven into every glance and gesture. To blend into this tapestry, you also become a novice at absorbing societal norms that stretch beyond mere etiquette. From the vibrancy of kimonos, each pattern telling a personal story, to the way villagers fold themselves with such ease into their daily routines, the simplicity of their rituals belies a complexity worth many lifetimes of understanding. Around you, there's an ebb and flow, an organic rhythm to village life that synchronizes with your heartbeat. Discerning hints become natural to you, like the way direction changes when one is chattering voices or laughter drifting like leaves in autumn. Despite the presence of an invisible current that draws you deeper into this cultural experience, you are aware of a certain irony. For in truth, your behavior is observed with a sort of bemused patience by those around you. They understand your presence signifies curiosity more than belonging. Turning a corner, you encounter a group of villagers gathered in animated discussion. Their voices, although hurried and excited, carry a musicality that piques your awareness. A spontaneous celebration appears to be underway. Perhaps someone is sharing tales or discussing the harvest. The familiarity of such gathering reels you in, evoking reminiscences of backyard barbecues or impromptu gatherings that dissolve life's complexities into the enchanting alchemy of camaraderie. As you draw closer, the circle of villagers opens to accommodate you, a nod at hospitality that transcends centuries. Their talk weaves around you, some of it indecipherable, yet music to your ear symphony of human connection. Here in the midst of this communal warmth, you can't help but think historians still debate how much of this daily life was structured by necessity versus choice. Did villagers lean into these gatherings out of social duty, or were they fueled by genuine yearning for connection? Perhaps it's a blend of both, a timeless cocktail of obligation and joy that serves to remind you that community still reigns supreme amidst isolation. The air is filled with an intoxicating aroma of sweet potato and rice, alongside the delicate notes of wild herbs boiling into concoctions meant to comfort both body and spirit. You suddenly crave a taste, the prospect of food prepared with such care and detail, creating its own form of hunger. Food and the sharing of it becomes an expression of both survival and love, a language audible across the years. As the night thickens, the villagers' voices soften, accompanied by the stoic presence of elders seated nearby, who occasionally interject with wisdom hard-won and seasoned with time. Their tidbits time, weathered and painted with tales of yore ripple through the crowd, enlightening and grounding them to the past as they anticipate future challenges. You observe how these gatherings become a living thread through which the values, beliefs, and history are seamlessly passed down to the next generation. It's a cultural colloquialism, intertwining their shared connection to this land and sea with rituals formed from sweat and stories. The baton of tradition firmly placed in younger hands, each telling. Eventually, as stars deepen and lanterns burn low, you sense it is time to retreat back into the embrace of your thoughts. The echoes of tonight's experience leave impressions as tangible as footprints in wet sand, evoking a tenderness within that simultaneously respects and challenges you. You walk away with warmth in your heart, completing yet another segment of your journey through this historical tapestry. As sleep welcomes you, memories from this extraordinary night play like soft lullabies. Sweet dreams bridge your aspirations, and the night's collective embrace weighted with complex elegance. As you remain submerged in the timeless night of 15th century Japan, the reality of an inherent vulnerability comes into sharp focus. The stillness that envelops the village is deceptive, a serene veneer masking the sobering truth that communication in this era is nothing like the instantaneous technology you're accustomed to. Here, the dissemination of vital information involves the rhythmic cadence of footsteps, the hurried exchange of words, and the hoped-for clarity of message runners. Imagine awakening one morning, visions of your modern phone banished, yearning for alerts and notifications that predict disturbance. But now, as the horizon hints at dawn, you are again reminded of the tenuous means by which life-saving information travels. Real-time alerts and sophisticated systems are luxuries for future generations. Instead, there is only trust in the vigilance of those who keep watch, and the oral tradition deeply carved into the flow of daily existence. The concept of time feels different in this village, the ticking seconds as if suspended. Every moment carries weight, every beat of the drum at the village's heart, echoing with the promise of both deliverance and devastation. Time here is both swift and lazy, a dance between urgency and patience as people rouse from sleep to gather at focal points, trading whispers like currency. While the village awakens, elders assemble with practiced gravity, forming a council under the commanding presence of the watchtower's shadow. They act as conduits of information, seated cross-legged, their faces stoic yet animated by knowledge and duty. Their conversations are an anthology of coded messages, gestures, and subtle nuances along with words forming a tapestry of understanding. Here, information is a precious resource, more valuable than gold to those gathered. Yet, it's remarkable how effortlessly news disperses, even without digital signals. As you wander between clusters of villagers assembling, there's a fluidity in their interactions that embodies community spirit. Whispered advisories and gestures communicate the essential in ways you find puzzling yet amazing. Once the Gestalt message is acknowledged, you detect a hidden efficiency in these practices, as if the village itself breathes collectively with each piece of shared news. While you float from gathering to gathering, observing this fragile yet formidable network, it's clear how precious each link in this human chain is. You start to appreciate the nuance within phrases oft muted by present-day shortcuts. Historians still argue whether this form of communication relied more on intuition or tradition, yet here reality roots firmly in necessity. Amidst this waking world of sounds and sights, the simplicity of a waves-tide analogy smirks at you. Information ebbs and flows like the very ocean you recently departed. And like the profound switch between high and low tide, the impact of such communication belies its apparent tranquility. All face the constant risk of unforeseen waves, dangers potentially telegraphed yet unheeded, an irony, both amusing and ominous. What may seem quaint or antiquated now carries an understated elegance. You wonder at the social agility required to decipher subtle shifts that marked significant events during these times. In this lexicon of patience meets persuasion, simple humilities, you feel privileged to be a silent witness. Elsewhere, the impromptu buzz over today's events evolves into procedural talk preparations for safeguarding lives and livelihoods. Strategies are shared among those adept at distilling yesterday's lessons into today's survival. Like a coded signal, lessons span across generations, building with purpose, sourcing sustenance, keeping watch. Even laughter echoes an admonishment wrapped in jest, sympathy and strategy holding equal sway. Yet, you sense a whimsical absurdity in the thought of recreating the push notifications or social media blitzes of your own world. Here, urgency and implications alike rely not upon the sharpness of new icons, but the raw essence of human judgment passed across homes. As the morning sun rises higher, breathing life into the village, its energy stored within becomes palpable. You find peace in the simplicity of communing without need for translation apps or jargon, sheer authenticity, crafting beauty in every exchange you witness. Each day is a gift, savoring connections as intangible, yet resilient as wind-blown whispers. Communication here demands presence, engagement, and a readiness that your modern conveniences could render rare. No witticisms constrained to 280 characters, no rapid scroll, just a formidable resolve to cast aside what you knew and embrace dialogue as an invitation for humans to commune wholly. In this delicate balance of silence and discourse, your understanding of what it means to truly be heard starts to change. Soon, like the villagers around you tracing time's fluttering course from dawn to dusk, your heart quickens with the rhythms shared among newfound kin. You've come, in these brief hours beneath a dreamer's sky, to understand the tempo of communication as it threads along thought, glance, and deed. Grateful for the shift, an impromptu smile graces your lips a recognition for moments that marry connection and purpose without need for computer screens. As the villagers return to daily endeavors, you find yourself imbued with a clarity of heart. The sound of their conversations transforms into an ancient lullaby that guides you home, tender whispers subtly encouraging sleep's embrace. Sweet dreams nurture you along a timeless stream that binds lives both past and present, now and then, in a narrative spun true by the enduring art of human conversation. The sky transitions from deep indigo to the pale promise of dawn, as the village settles into its morning routine. The serene beauty of this 15th century Japanese village captivates you, but it's the subtle undertones of readiness that catch your interest. You begin to comprehend just how differently people here prepared for disasters without the convenience of an emergency broadcast system or the quick fix of a corner store stocked with essentials. Amidst the diligent rhythm of early risers, farmers, fishermen, and craftsmen, you notice quiet conversations dotted with determined actions. The people's lives are choreographed by nature's cycles, compelling them to always be a step ahead, quietly adhering to rituals meant to curb nature's ferocity. Today, you find yourself navigating this world much like a visitor in a gallery of living history, observing how necessity shapes preparedness here. Preparation isn't just an act. It's an art form grounded in customs, one where the practicality of tasks often overshadows a layman's modern interpretation of emergency. Gathering provisions isn't a hurried scramble, but an ongoing diligence. Each household contributes to a system that has served them through countless generations, a protocol indistinguishable from their daily routines. Rice wine is produced with as much care as any survival food, rain barrels are perpetually full, and strategically stored fish hang drying on racks like rustic decorations. You realize their survival kits don't come in neat plastic bins or fashionable backpacks. Instead, they are woven into the daily landscape, seamlessly integrated through tasks repeated with a reverent familiarity. The same tools nets, baskets, and against-the-grain invention said not only survival, but sustain a sense of continuity, pointing to both tradition's embrace and innovation's gentle touch. For someone accustomed to freshly printed instructions, color-coded risk zones, and radar visuals, this, surprisingly, is a stark yet satisfying contrast. It's poignant, humbling, bearing witness to their resourcefulness, drawing inspiration and sustenance not from modern conveniences, but from nature's endless bounty and their ingenuity. Watch closely as one woman meticulously arranges herbal bundles, whispering incantations of hope, resilience, and connection. Her actions are charged with an intensity that transcends mere survival. These are talismans, you realize, cognitive maps on their journey through unforeseen adversities, wrapped in whispers of curative lore, so beloved, though humor could deem them mere quaint rather than quite practical. As you observe the villagers readying their world against nature's surprises, there's a playful irony to finding wisdom bottled in preserves or etched within worn, tattered tools. A quiet lesson lies in the challenges posed by this self-sufficient way of life, a secret passed over generations where humor flickers like firelight at life's edges. Imagine facing raw nature armed with rudimentary instruments and potent resolve, or resting comfortably on an abstraction of beliefs, masquerading as truth, could you? In this village, life is woven with resilience into decisions built on sustained plausibility. They understand that even survival's simplicity demands sufficient preparation, steeped in detail and care. The essence of pre-disaster resilience lies wrapped within community infrastructure. Living amid shrouded mystery, masked by simplicity, yet unyielding across the relentless narratives time chooses to unveil. Historians often ponder whether these predispositions were emblematic of consequent fortune or merely morphed happenstance. Yet these people seem unconcerned by academia's debate. Their wealth doesn't measure in coin but in strength, collective wisdom, and rootedness in a land, sometimes yielding harvests, sometimes hardship. Consider for a moment that even as you drift through this village, immersed in their unique measures, the airborne message remains. Do not await apparitions, as whispers lull sea and hill. Embrace this procession, understand even a glance passes for premonitions served astride parchment echo. It's a meticulous dance, wherein your invented chronicle aligns mobility with apprehension. You, a modern wanderer, may wonder where such confidence arises, absent precise forecast and disguised beneath age-fashioned garments. And yet here they are, an impressive testament to time-like blossoms stretching heavenward at spring's hurry, beckoning before future shadows fall. Attention snaps forward to morning chaos, colored not by dread, but by tacit acknowledgement. What comes next might ride in norms less conventional, more nuanced, ineffable. There's pleasure in recognizing dynamism coexists beneath a facade of formality, as intentions meld seamlessly, leaving scant evidence beyond present lines rolling skyward at dawn. You drift closer to this implicit narrative, allowing its vital threads chart patterns of enduring significance to guide those entrusted with each whispered glimpse into nature's deepest designs. Surveying this ambitious tranquility, you offer reflection. So many steps toward resilience carved across generations, interlaced with absence and familiarity, have kindled splendor stirred from ashes. Even as village responsibilities unfold under mid-morning sun, carving your path amid spectral incantations, sifting intent, it's sweet dreams bestowed willfully by circumstance that save you nightly from life's capricia. Secret spiral leeward, meant solely for resilient inquirer, hearts adrift. As the morning unfolds its warm embrace over the village, the intricate tapestry of social hierarchy weaves itself into daily life with the same subtlety and grace that whispers through the silver leaves of the nearby bamboo grove. In this meticulously structured society, where one's place is defined by a complex blend of birth, skill, and service, survival often depends as much on social navigation as on physical preparedness. Walking through the village, you notice how every interaction is underscored by a palpable respect for rank and tradition. Hierarchy here is a living, breathing organism, blending seamlessly into the community's rituals and routines, dictating the rhythm of interactions like an ever-present metronome. It's in the way villagers bow to elders or deferentially step aside for those of higher status, weaving courtesy and recognition into every movement. The samurai, the noble warriors of the day, stand as towering figures in this intricate hierarchy, their presence like the towering oaks in this forest of humanity. You can see them patrolling with disciplined grace, an air of quiet authority surrounding their every step. Their armor gleams faintly in the morning light, an outward manifestation of their inner strength and the honor that defines their existence. One wonders if their sleep is burdened with dreams of duty and allegiance, tales of loyalty etched across their consciousness like ancestral tattoos. The locals treat them with a reverence saved for treasured mosaics, though beneath the fables lie stories deeply human in their aspirations and limitations. The villagers, respectful yet pragmatic, learn to navigate this hierarchy with a skill equal to farming or fishing. They understand that within this fabric, the status of an individual can mean the difference between receiving aid during hard times or facing them alone. The samurai, while embodying protection and governance, are also imbued with the expectation of equitable judgment. They are both sword and shield, held to ideals that at times seem as formidable as their weaponry. Yet, what makes it truly fascinating is the way hierarchy influences even the smallest aspects of life. The artisans, skilled in their crafts, occupy their own respected niche within this framework. Their days are marked by the creation of pottery and textiles, each piece crafted with precision and care. Despite their lower rank compared to samurai, each villager earns honor and dignity in their role, contributing to the village's collective well-being with deft hands and dedicated craft. As you ponder this, you can't help but draw parallels to the intricate hierarchies within your own life workplaces and social structures that define interactions and influence outcomes. Here, the hierarchy is palpable, while your modern world often cloaks it in more subtle veils. Historians still debate the rigidity of such systems, whether the binds of class and rank were as immutable as they seemed, or if the current ripples allowed surprises and serendipity. You find humor in how predictably unpredictable human nature is, whether separated by centuries or bandwidths. The same foibles and fancies animate both, yet here in the past they play out with a deliberate languor, each act a measured stroke in the annals of community life. Children everywhere weave dreams unfettered by societal cords, swirling between roles in imagined reveries of playground diplomacy, yet inevitably guided by the examples set before them. They mimic the bows and graces of adulthood, their games tiny skirmishes in the grander battles of hierarchy they're destined to face. Watching the villagers, one lesson lingers: flexibility within the framework. While the hierarchy appears monolithic, it's not without its subtextual shifts and ebbs favors exchanged, alliances forged in the quiet suggestion of a nodded head, or the exchange of whispered confidences beneath the village oak. The respect for one another is palpable, binding villagers across this social spectrum with a commonality rooted in tradition and pride. Each person, regardless of rank, holds purpose within this ecosystem. They grasp the equilibrium between dependence and independence as deftly as a fisherman grasps his net. It's an elaborate dance where honor and duty are sometimes as innate as breathing. Despite the formalities and unspoken rules separating ranks, the villagers remain connected, a vibrant kaleidoscope of roles, all tuned to the same venerable song: endure together. Their unity highlights a profound truth: that survival isn't just about weathering the cataclysms nature hurls their way, but navigating the complexities of societal structure with rhythmic grace. As the day drifts on, you find warmth in the familiarity of shared rituals, a reassurance that transcends time's divide. In the shadows cast by age-old hierarchies, you appreciate the dedication to community and the resilient spirit that keeps it thriving. Rest now comes easily, as your thoughts entertain the balancing act of social obligation and honor, etched heavily into dreams adrift on this gentle sea. Engulfed by a realm where hierarchy diffuses into harmony, you start your own voyage through understanding and reflection upon the social threads that stitch together the fabric of survival. Here, lost in lives lived purposefully, you remember the sweet comfort that true cohesion can bring. The morning chorus fades softly as you stroll through the sun-dappled lanes of the village, captivated by the inhabitants' resourcefulness, skillful dance, with necessity that seems to permeate every aspect of their existence. Here, the rhythm of life is dictated not by abundance, but by a profound understanding of scarcity and ingenuity, a testament to humanity's timeless capacity to innovate when faced with limited means. You notice it first in the gardens, where plots of land spill over with a verdant abundance that belies their size. Each leaf and shoot has its purpose, carefully tended with an eye on both sustenance and sustainability. You can almost hear the gentle teachings passed down from one calloused hand to another, echoing through time how to coax the earth to yield what is needed, no more and no less. The villagers, from seasoned elders to curious children, move through this landscape with purpose. You witness their deft hands transforming and repurposing materials that a modern mind might overlook. Wood, stone, and fiber find new life in everyday objects, with ingenuity etched onto every surface. Their creativity flows unrestrained, turning humble resources into tools, containers, or adornments, each piece reflecting the maker's artful touch and a hint of practicality. Resourcefulness extends beyond the physical, into the realm of vocation and roles individuals occupy in their society. Skills are honed not in pursuit of monetary gain, but with the understanding that these talents sustain the village's heart. The craftsman's chisel and the farmer's scythe become instruments in a symphony composed of sweat and precision. Such tools carve existence from surroundings, bridging sea and mountain beneath heaven's watchful gaze, vibrant choreography of creation. Strolling past a fisherman's workshop, you observe an older man tending to his nets. The salt air fills your lungs as his fingers deftly weave a tapestry of strands, knowing each knot is a link in their survival chain. These nets, born from relentless tides, seem to speak of foresight, a reminder that their fortune lies in anticipating scarcity and shaping tools from hope and necessity in equal measure. It's an unspoken philosophy, to embrace what you have and what you can imagine. As you continue along the path, the villagers' laughter and conversation weave a tapestry of sound around you, a communal narrative of shared experiences. Despite the heavy undertow of challenges they face, life's complexities often give way to the simple pleasures of connection and shared endeavor. Humor splices life's continuous narrative. A rogue humorous quip amid rice planting lightens soil-heavy load, reminding you of timeless levity in earnestness. In a nearby workshop, artisans transform clay into pottery, symmetry of the potter's wheel echoing the balance between form and function. These vessels are more than mere objects. They are stories told through fingertips stained by earth, tales of ritual meals and sacred ceremonies, containers of memory and sustenance. It's a delicate alchemy, where art breathes necessity into life, a daily testament to human adaptability. What's striking is how knowledge is freely shared here, passed on with the easy grace of seasoned hands urging novice fingers. The transmission of wisdom is continuous, unfurling like a scroll across the years etched in nuances and anecdotes. You reflect on how much modern life could learn from such generosity of spirit, where the well-being of one is inextricably linked to that of the many. The villager's resourcefulness isn't just about survival. It's about crafting a life of meaning and continuation around the scarce and finite. Historians often debate whether such resilience stems from environmental determinism or cultural evolution. But here, it's as innate as breathing, a way of life as natural as the rising sun. As you stand on this narrow path between past and present, it's hard not to feel a sense of humility. Where you might see constraints, these villagers see possibilities. Where you might find obsolete resources, they envisage opportunity. Perhaps this is the true lesson, as you survey cunning inventions and storied Hansar reminder to embrace life's constraints with creativity, courage, and a sense of humor. Embracing this wisdom as your own, you carry it forward like a talisman, savoring the potential within every limitation you encounter. You find echoes of this understanding in modern sustainability efforts, in the burgeoning embrace of innovation in the face of hurdles, validating that the oldest lessons can inspire the most current solutions. As night approaches, casting the village in a gentle twilight, you find a quiet corner to rest. You close your eyes, the day's impressions settling into a tapestry of potential and possibility. The villager's indomitable spirit flows through you, wrapping you in a cocoon of dreams, where resourcefulness is both guide and promise. Sweet dreams now beckon, nurturing the heart and kindling imagination with visions of a world transformed by resourceful hands and open minds. As twilight gently settles over the village, a solemn ambience weaves through the shadows, revealing yet another dimension of survival in 15th century Japan's spiritual conviction. Here, where the cyclical dance of nature is deeply revered, spirituality becomes both anchor and compass, providing a framework within which the villagers navigate life's unpredictable tides. The village's spiritual energy is palpable, steeped in a tapestry of beliefs that blend Shinto and Buddhist philosophies with indigenous customs. It's a potpourri of reverence, where the sacred and the mundane intersect seamlessly, each breath a prayer, every act a ritual. In this realm, survival is not just a physical journey but a spiritual pilgrimage. The earth rich with echoes of prayers both whispered and silent. Temples and shrines grace the landscape, nestled between cedar trees and terraced fields. As you walk among them, their architecture tells stories etched in timber and stone, narratives of fealty and hope, woven through threads of incense smoke that spiral toward the sky. The simple act of crossing through a Terai gate feels transformative, an invitation to step from the ordinary into the realm of the sacred. Villagers make regular pilgrimages here, their hearts heavy with gratitude or laden with petition. It's a dance of devotion, hands pressed together in prayer, bodies leaning into bowed supplication. Each moment spent here aligns their spiritual compass, offering solace and reinforcing resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. Whether for bountiful harvests, protection from tsunamis, or personal peace, their prayers become a tapestry of faith woven into the fabric of their lives. You witness how spirituality influences their daily actions, infusing the mundane with a sense of purpose and connection. Symbols of faith adorn homes, fields, and even fishing nets, amulets and talismans crafted with care. Protection against unseen forces lurking just beyond human understanding. Every villager, regardless of age or status, participates in this cultural symphony, their individual notes contributing to a harmonious whole. The village priest, clad in robes of understated elegance, holds a position of both reverence and responsibility. His role is more than ceremonial. He is a guide and interpreter, a conduit through which the divine whispers to the earthly realm. You watch as he offers blessings, his voice a steady stream of assurance to those he serves. His presence imbues the village with a sense of continuity and spiritual fortitude, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, they are never truly alone. Spiritual rites, such as seasonal festivals and ceremonies, bring the community together in shared intent and celebration. These events exude joy and reverence. Much like the harvest moon glowing above, each ritual a testament to the enduring power of belief. The cumulative energy of human voices, mingling with the ethereal lights dancing upon water, captivates you, a stirring reminder that faith is a currency with immeasurable worth. While you soak in the layers of spiritual essence that flow throughout the village, you can't help but compare it to belief systems within your own world. Despite the centuries between, there's a profound similarity, a universal quest for peace, understanding, and assurance. Historians still speculate on the extent to which these beliefs shaped critical survival decisions during harsh times, but standing here amid whispers of the timeless, it feels undeniable. The elements of this rich spiritual landscape blend seamlessly with the physical world, blurred boundaries where rivers and mountains become not just natural entities, but guardians and guides, their spirits interwoven with those of the villagers. In this reverence lies a profound respect for nature that has fostered sustainability through generations, a delicate dance between worship and stewardship. The villagers stand as true stewards of their environment, acknowledging the interconnectedness of all living things. Their spiritual practices are both homage and covenant, binding together past, present, and future in a cycle that endures beyond the temporary. The simplicity with which they embrace the sacred within everyday life serves as an eloquent testament to their resilience. As you retreat to a quiet hillside overlooking the village, the scope of their spiritual influence envelops you. In the starlit hush, you reflect on how spirituality acts as a beacon, illuminating paths through life's trials and tribulations. It's a gentle reminder that survival is not anchored in sheer will alone, but is buoyed by the sustaining force of faith and community. With these insights cradled within your heart, you drift into a world of dreams where the divine sings softly through the rustling leaves. Here, surrounded by spirits both seen and unseen, sleep beckons you sweet whispers of communion and peace, an invitation to rest unburdened beneath the watchful gaze of ancient guardians. As the first light of dawn brushes across the village, you see how the bonds of family and community intertwine, creating a mesh that supports and sustains. The air is filled with a quiet hum of activity as families begin their day, working in unison like a well-rehearsed symphony. This network of relationships is the backbone of their survival, woven from shared struggles and triumphs. The concept of family here transcends what you might typically envision. It is not merely the immediate blood relations, but a broader kinship that encompasses the entire community. Each individual is a crucial strand in this tapestry, where connections are nurtured through shared experiences and mutual dependence. You see families working side by side in the fields, their laughter mingling with the rustle of crops, a testament to bonds fortified by labor and love. Children, the bearers of future hopes, move freely between households, guided by a collective responsibility that blurs the lines of guardianship. They are raised by many hands, each adult a teacher or protector, ensuring continuity of knowledge and tradition. This communal approach to child rearing strengthens the village's social fabric, cultivating a sense of belonging and security. You observe elders, repositories of history and wisdom, treated with reverence. Their stories, shared in the shade of ancient trees, serve not just as entertainment, but as invaluable lessons encoded in narrative. Their presence is a constant reminder of the continuum of life, a bridge connecting generations and anchoring them in a shared past. The laughter of children dances through the air and mingles with the elders' soft-spoken words, bringing life to the endless relay of history. Work here is both a necessity and an opportunity to bond. Whether it's planting rice, mending nets, or brewing sake, tasks share the common rhythm of cooperation. Though each task requires individual skill, it is in the collective effort that they find strength and purpose. The fruits of labor are shared openly, meals prepared with a spirit of generosity, gathering everyone around a central hearth where food and stories are exchanged. The community stands as a bulwark against the vicissitudes of nature or fate. In times of need, no family faces hardship alone. When tides rise too high or skies open with torrents, everyone lends a hand rebuilding, comforting, standing together as the first line of defense against despair. The villagers know that survival here demands unity as much as it does resourcefulness and skill. There is a poignant simplicity to the way villagers express their care for one another. A gift of fish or rice is laden with meaning, a small yet significant gesture of solidarity. Hospitality flows freely, and no one is turned away, embodying the belief in shared fortune and misfortune. Visitors from neighboring villages receive the same warmth, a reminder of the interconnectedness that spans beyond known faces. In observing how these bonds manifest, you sense the delicate balance of individuality and collectivism. Historians still debate the extent to which such communities were free from the burdens of hierarchy's divisive nature, yet here, the power of shared purpose seems palpable. The village thrives partly because of this invisible thread, the trust, collaboration, and mutual respect built into its very foundation. Amidst these families and friendships, you find humor woven into the fabric of daily life, a necessary counterbalance that flavors interactions with levity. Jokes are shared over meals, spontaneous laughter echoes through fields during long hours of work, romping through the waters with the children. These light moments uplift and carry the village through life's inevitable tribulations. As you immerse yourself in this tightly knit community, you start to realize more deeply how such support systems might be lacking in your world. The layers of connection stretch beyond dependence. They seem to imbue each day with meaning. They encapsulate identity, tying individuals not just to their kin, but to the land and legacy their ancestors cultivated. It is the mortar that fills the gaps between stones, each relationship reinforcing the structure of life. Watching the village as the day unfolds, you feel an undeniable warmth or resonance that travels through time. It's a sensation that lingers, even as shadows grow long and night whispers once more its lullaby. In this orchestration, where every chord rings true, you see that the bonds of family and community offer more than mere survival. They are the embodiment of tradition and hope, the ongoing narrative that joins past and present in an unbreakable embrace. You drift into slumber, enveloped in these musings, allowing yourself to yield to the tranquility crafted by this resilient tapestry. Sweet dreams wrap around your thoughts, carrying forward the wisdom and comfort born from connected lives. Here, in the quiet darkness dotted with ancient stars, you find solace in the enduring song of unity. As the golden hues of morning silently extend their reach over the village, a subtle yet pervasive presence weaves its way through the community: superstition. Here, in 15th century Japan, where the boundary between the known and the mystical is subtly blurred, superstition plays a significant role, influencing decisions and actions, swaying mindsets like an unseen breeze. Your path takes you by small altars adorned with offerings, each token an invocation for protection or fortune. The villagers believe in spirits kami that inhabit every corner of their world, from the majestic Fuji to the smallest trickling stream. These beliefs are deeply entrenched, equal parts reverence and fear, guiding daily activities with an invisible hand. Superstitions dictate many of the villagers' actions, interspersed through routines like an ancient melody. It's not mere whimsy, but a practical weave into life's tapestry. Cautious farmers may choose to plant or harvest based not only upon the season's practicalities, but guided by omens or dreams interpreted with sincere gravity. A rustling breeze or strange pattern within crops might hold messages from the otherworldly spiritual Morse code to decipher and respect. As you observe a fisherman preparing his nets for the day, You notice him tie a small charm into the weavier talisman, crafted from stones and twine, meant to pacify the sea's temper. Such actions, imbued with symbolic power, are repeated across tasks and trades, each holding a separate but collectively cherished significance. The sea, a bounty in danger, commands constant appeasement. The air buzzes lightly as childhood tales warn of taking it for granted. Even homes hold curiositiesa, symbolic placement of stones outside, or the hanging of a specific branch across doorways, all aimed at warding off malevolent spirits or invoking prosperity. Inside, mirrors face certain directions, and symbols etched onto doorframes guide energies through thresholds, unseen yet felt. All these rituals and amulets act as a balm against the capriciousness of life, offering the villagers a perceived agency in a world where the natural forces command ultimate authority. Superstitions provide comfort, a way to make sense of nature's unpredictable mood swings. Yet there's a whisper of practicality, whispered among whispers, acknowledging the blend within reality. Myths are often more potent when serving both superstition and tangible confidence. You watch, amused, as children play games mimicking these worldviews, their antics animated by stories handed down through generations. Giggles accompany charms crafted from twigs and leaves, weaving magic into their daylight adventures. Their innocence distills age-old fears into something purely joyous, reminding you that even superstition carries lightness. Embracing superstition also fosters community ties. While skepticism might surface beneath hushed conversations, communal rituals conducted in harmony bind the villagers closer together, joint embrace against the unknown. Shared beliefs forge a network of mutual understanding, strengthening bonds while warding off the weight of isolation. It is fascinating to reflect on how deeply these beliefs thread through a people's psyche, coloring their resilience and shaping responses to the vast uncertainties they face. Superstitions, at times ridiculed in your world, here find their own venerability. Historians still argue whether such influence constrained progress or preserved harmony within society's framework. Yet here, it's hard to imagine life without thema, uniquely woven cloth, where each thread bears meaning. You find humor in these practices, recognizing similar quirks in modern superstitions times when technology falters and logic slips, revealing collective nods to the mysterious. There's a certain charm in admitting what we don't know, allowing wonder and imagination a place alongside the concrete. As you wander through the village, you realize that superstition has its role, not as mere folly, but as a testament to faith, fear, and what connections provide. These beliefs, uniquely Japanese yet universally human, speak to a yearning for control, security, and hope, bridges between shared stories and realities blanketed by night's gentle domain. In this dance with the unseen, the villagers remain buoyed by a knowledge both ancient and instinctive, one where reliance on intangible forces remains part of the dance of life. It is a balance caught between heaven and earth, as sacred as the rituals often are mundane. Night eventually wraps her cloak around your observations, inviting reflection upon what's hidden beyond logic's tidy edge. As you yield to sleep, dreams brush gently against your consciousness, carrying whispers of superstition in their languid embrace. Sweet dreams arrive with the calm assurance that even within uncertainty, those hidden forces wrap elegantly around what's unseen, promising peace as quests invite revelation across the pull of eternity. The morning sun climbs higher, casting long shadows over the village, and with it comes a foreboding whisper carried on the invigorating coastal breeze. A tension, barely perceptible, threads through the air as the villagers go about their routines. It's as if all nature's elements align to foretell something the senses can barely grasp: the imminent approach of the great wave. You wander closer to the sea, where the waves rhythmically lap against the shore, yet today they seem to breathe an unfamiliar language. The villagers have turned their eyes to the horizon, a living tapestry of anticipation and fear unfurled against the vast blue. Their movements are still deliberate, but beneath the surface lies a heightened awareness, a collective bracing for what they know all too well can arrive with little warning. Despite the tranquility on display, the threat of a tsunami is ever present in their consciousness. For those living by the sea, the promise of abundance is forever shadowed by danger's gambit. Here, Survival is a constant negotiation, knowledge whispered across generations, hinting that vigilance must always walk hand in hand with routine. Superstitions may lay groundwork, but lived experience sows foresight into every decision. You notice how quietly the elders confer, their eyes searching the water, reading signs not written nor spoken but understood. Every drop in tide, every unusual pattern on the shoreline could herald the sea's dangerous transformation. These seasoned navigators of time and tide possess a wisdom that transcends the written word. Historians still argue what exact signs they sought, if such forewarnings held divine whispers or merely patterns recognized through repetition. The coming wave remains invisible to the casual observer, a phantom whose presence materializes only at nature's whim. And yet, the sea and sky converse in code, exchanging secrets and transformations that belie their calm exteriors. The villagers gather wordlessly at the shore, children held fast to the arms of parents or older siblings. Together they wait. Their communal heart beats in time with the sea's uncertain pulse. Suddenly, there's a shift. A subtle but palpable disturbance announces the sea's intent. The water begins to draw back slow, then revealing its urgency. It's a motion that defies the rhythm bred into their bones, and the villagers, recognizing nature's soon-to-unleash might, begin their silent exodus from uncertainty's shore. This retreat, orchestrated through collective understanding, doesn't devolve into chaos but rather an ingrained choreography, rehearsed through cautious tradition. Even as they turn to move inland, communication flows like an undercurrent, with gestures rather than words guiding their passage toward higher ground. The natural world around them, earlier a tableau of serenity, has shifted its gaze, bidding them to flee rather than linger. Their steps become beats in the heart of an ancient, synchronized maneuver. You are swept along with the villagers, your heart quickening to match their pace. This isn't just a physical journey, but a testament to human instinct married to experience, a reminder that while nature's power can overwhelm, the dance of survival favors the prepared. Each step away from the sea is an act of faith that lessons from ancestors will once more prove wise. As you make your way along the path, the sea reveals its darker intentions, the retreating water an unmistakable revelation of its coming force. This exposed landscape is both mesmerizing and disconcerting. Rocks and ocean life suddenly laid bare, a temporary unveiling before all is reclaimed with unimaginable power. The villagers, who moments ago examined playful waves, move with purpose, every hand put to task without command, yet not without confidence. Their eyes, once filled with hints of narrative, now reflect urgency over uncertainty. They've learned to live with such unpredictability, each drill and escape plan another chapter in a book where adaptation writes resilience. Despite the grave scenario unfolding, you find humor in your own reaction, the realization that this great sea salt drama would never find ground in texts or statuses. With the instinctive hearts of these few etched alive with humanity's persistence, a cacophony of thoughts rises within, humor juxtaposed against potential obliteration. Yet threading amid such contradictions lies the wonder of community and immediate effect. From your vantage point halfway up the path to higher ground, you pause, offering one last look towards the sea that has begun its declaration, boiling and rising in concert with fury and grace. You can't help but admire the simplicity of nature executing its raw narrative, a stark reminder that life, unchecked by engineering, spins on cycles aligned without its barriers. The villagers draw together on this hillside, united in silent expectation, the only sound the whisper of wind teasing the fronds of ancient trees. You stand among them, absorbed in the gravity of this moment, a communal offering of hope, shared among those who find themselves equally small beneath a grand canvas of breaking reaches. While uncertainty still lingers, the villagers find comfort in togetherness and preparation. Thus, they wait. Here, hearts bundle both fear and resolution, an unwavering determination not to deny nature's inevitability, but to endure it through cooperation and shared strength. This testament leaves an indelible impression upon your spirit as the scene shifts to echoes and shadows. Sleep now rescues you, lulling you into another realm, your dreams infused with whispers of the great wave that remains patient upon time's edges. There's peace molded in humility, as throughout darkness's quiet repose, The moon reflects heart-twinning confidence upon immortal sea and gracious hill. Sweet dreams form a bridge that lets understanding float like lanterns among stars, guiding hearts toward elusive serenity, waiting a beacon of resilience everlasting. The village, momentarily suspended between anticipation and action, begins to unravel its invisible playbook as the tension hangs thick. The great wave is on its way, and while uncertainty clings like morning mist, the villagers gear up to rely not just on instinct, but on a web of unwritten survival strategies that connect them beyond comprehension. The world is bathed in a golden light that glows with deceptive tranquility, but every villager knows that vigilance is key as they tread a tightrope across this precipice of danger. While the fear of the incoming tsunami grips their hearts, what drives them forward is a timeless choreography of survival, stitched together with strands of intuition, knowledge, and something else, an adaptability grounded in hope. You can feel the adrenaline pulse through the collective psyche as villagers start to mobilize their preparedness knowledge into concrete action. Even without the alarms or protocols of your modern world, it's clear that this remarkable community trusts its own time-honored warning system, composed of both human observation and natural cues. The dance of survival begins with assessing the essentials. Women and men sprint into action, gathering provisions, dried meats, rice, water, and the root-based medicines that ward against potential post-disaster ailments. Children are clutched close. All hands play their part. Leaving no outsider, no offering to fate, each becomes a key player on this uncertain stage. You notice how small knots of villagers gather around sturdy wooden carts, each person acutely aware of their responsibility. These carts, usually used for harvests, have taken on new significance. They are laden with whatever can be salvaged to ensure a chance at continuity. Food, inventories of their modest wealth, and even symbolic possessions that weave familial continuity are packed tightly. Nothing frivolous, everything essential. There's a quiet significance in every action, unspoken, yet understood, that these are not mundane items but precious lifelines. Their packed belongings whisper narratives of past experiences, yearning for substance and legacy even when the ocean threatens these truths with impermanence. Each family seems to bear within theirs a map in invisible lines etched across the skin roots towards high ground, remembered deeply and muscles primed to move by the pull of inherited tradition. This blueprint of survival transcends the physical, calling upon an inner compass, one that turns ages-old knowledge into decisive finesse. Lingering wonder rides lightly beneath modern eyes, underlined with admiration. Throughout this rapid ruckus, there's a discernible rhythm, not unlike the syncopated beat in your favorite mellow tuneth. Frenetic energy finds grounding, binds to the pulse of village life that remains imbued with muted miracles and shared imperatives. The villager's invisible song orchestrates duty into power and prompts steady hands to reassure trembling hearts. In the midst of the urgency, humor and simple emerges like dappled sunlight through a canopy. A villager quips about the irony of saving the old fishing rod that never brought back fish, and laughter ripples through tense smiles. It's this light-heartedness, a reminder that connection aids resilience. Each moment serves to dissolve fraught hearts like sugar in tea. Shared jokes puncture anxiety, giving way to determination fleeting behind daily rituals. The climb uphill towards safety becomes a communal pilgrimage, second nature to those born into this cycle of ebb and flow, intimately predictable in its gruesome regularity. Every step is a chant through time. Keep moving, keep believing, keep going. There's a grace in the way paths diverge then realign, guiding them away from palpable danger, their footsteps etched into the land that holds countless tales of past survivals. In these moments of tension, historians marvel at how early communities relied on intuition, paired with profound environmental connection, whether guiding myth or tangible force. What nudged such extraordinary feats primarily resides within shared trust, kindling flames that help navigate darkness where words might flounder. Finally stationed on higher ground, they huddle together, drawing warmth from each other, the last vestiges of an unyielding resolve that has likened them family as much as neighbors, certain the symphony birthed today, amidst calamity pulses with echoes matchless. You remain among them, feeling the village's heartbeat's synchronician expression perhaps, of the irresistible spirit that defines humanity throughout the ages. You sense the frantic energy settle into shared silence, as though in these collective moments, words possess no power over what gently unfolds between silent breaths under a burgeoning sky. Faith stretched thin, yet unbroken. Now your mind begins to drift, aware only of the hypnotic cadence of your own respiration, a serene farewell to a waking threat that has lent vigor and steadiness to day's twilight approach. Enveloped by a profound stillness, your dreams cradle notions of paradox fluid yet stalwart, lessons penned by fate's unseen hand as morning light fades beneath ethereal chords. Sweet dreams curl plaintively along quietude, the gentle promise of fortification borne by shared instinct and enduring strength. As the great wave crashes into the village's past, the dawn of a new reality emerges, unveiled by the eye of chaos. In the wake of nature's formidable power, the aftermath sprawls like scattered leaves, challenging the villagers with its heavy silence. The land lies caught in a suspended moment where time slows, and the pulse of life seems to hiccup before resuming its relentless pace. When the dust settles, or, in this case, when the sea recedes, taking fragments of life with it, the landscape that reveals itself is both familiar and alien. Structures that stood resolute not long ago lie humbled, wood and thatch disarrayed under the sky's watchful gaze. The village wears a new face, one that bears a mosaic of loss, resilience, and rebirth. It's the quiet after a storm, when the absence of sound is almost as loud as the tumult itself. You move through this transformed space with a careful reverence, as though each step were a whispered apology to the earth for nature's ire. The ground feels different beneath your feet, softer in some places, a reminder that the ocean's fingers have swept through these streets, creating new paths where the old ones just barely linger. Villagers, emerging from high ground, survey the scene with solemn eyes but steady hearts. Amongst the ruins, you see a resolute determination, the essence of humanity distilled into action, eyes searching for the familiar amidst uprooted earth. Each person moves with purpose, tending not just to the physical remnants of their world, but to the emotional debris as well. They've known this dance before the aftermath, the slow knitting of what was torn, a reluctant tango with loss infused by the hope nestled in their pacing hearts. Together they form a living montage searching amid the wreckage for memories, sustenance, and symbols of continuity. There's a grounding in their movement, an unyielding belief that through this upheaval, life will find its rhythm once more. Their hands, weathered by time yet unending in their devotion, sift through broken pieces with gentle care. Laughter, unexpected yet shouldering immense weight, punctuates the air like sunbeams. Someone jokes about the life-saving skills of a stubborn mule, still intact on the far side of the hilltop. It's humor that reels humanity away from despair's edge, buoying souls against lachrymose tides, shaping existence in times when darkness seems too thick. The resilience of spirit unfolds effortlessly, lending a language to this brave endeavor, an unwritten guide to read through devastation's lexicon. At the center of this rebuilding effort stand those culled from time as placeholders, villagers navigating this terrain, with memories sparking new ideas, equally tethered to legacy and innovation. Historians still argue about how communities summoned such tremendous flexibility and intellectual crossover during trauma's grip. Yet here, amid uncertain futures, it seems an inborn testament to survival's requisite adaptability. In the unfolding hours, the village becomes a vivid living chronicle of losses mourned and future paths charted in the footprints left behind. Mutual support beams as a lighthouse through disarrayed beginnings, with souls kindled brightly by the embrace of unity's flame. As resources are pooled and courage shared, the world within gradually remakes itself from tattered edges once overseen by tranquility's calm eye. As rebuilding continues under the sun's gentle arc, everyone takes stock of what remains. Possessions once locked in place find new meant destinations, a narrative forged anew by nimble fingers and open hearts. It's astonishing how quickly the human spirit turns disaster into a canvas, layer after layer painting resilience with strokes bold and secretive, where grief mingles with gratitude like river and ocean, refusing separation's boundary. Supplies slowly multiply, as neighbors from neighboring villages arrive bearing gifts of wood, tools, and food, forming a bridge from one life rhythm to the next. You witness this exchange as if it were a soft-constructed song of revitalization that transcends catastrophe, lingering in human sighs and heartbeats pulsing toward renewal. Here, even amidst great loss, there is belief, in strength, in compassion, in love. The once frenzied air now tilts toward tranquility as serenity gains momentum. Each conversation that hums around you is a promise, a vow whispered across generations. The labor of rebuilding threads, fibers through time, each contribution a story added to the loom of life. The villager's tenacity is a monument not cast in stone, but in the hearts of a humbled landscape, reaching toward recovery. As shadows lengthen, the remnants echo the muted rhythm of life carefully renewed. People gather, tired but resolute, redefining definitions of home and family amid signs stitched from twilight's descent. The night's heavy cloak approaches, promising reflection, dreams imbued with whispers from time long gone. Here, where nature's embrace felt harsh, hearts find solace and strength in each other's harmonious presence, poised along dream's voyage to serenity waiting beyond. The world slowly tucks itself into the fold of nighter, gentle lull over a landscape reshaped, yet resilient. You are embraced by the vibrations of hope and fortitude, cradling sweet dreams as they murmur softly with the promise of rebirth and tomorrow. Tethered to daylight's shifts, sweet dreams arrive weighted with continuity, interwoven deeply within time's inseparable threads. As the initial shock of the tsunami's aftermath fades, a new sense of purpose begins to pulse through the village. The villagers, having mourned what was lost, now turn toward the hopeful horizon of reconstruction. The debris that once symbolized destruction becomes the raw material for renewal, each fragment, a narrative thread poised to weave a tapestry of resilience. In this nascent morning, the air is filled with the scent of fresh earth and the subtle sound of hammers rhythmically tapping against wood. Rebuilding is more than a mere act of survival. It's a deeply spiritual affair, a testament to human spirit's relentless pursuit of continuity. You watch as the villagers, each a craftsman in their own right, engage in this profound act of recreation. The process begins with gathering and assessing materials. The wood from fallen trees becomes beams and supports, while stones left in new configurations by retreating waters are adapted as foundations. Every piece salvaged invites the villagers to engage in a game of sorts problem-solving, born from equal parts creativity and necessity. It's this symbiosis of art and pragmatism that fuels their efforts. Beyond physical reconstruction, there is the gentle art of mending the community's social fabric. The conversations you overhear are tinged with purpose, as people swap stories, humor, and insights. Each tale shared around communal fire spaces becomes a brick in the roads of healing hearts. They laugh, tooth quirkiness of a found item, the shared joke of too many hands making light work a beacon pointing toward the resilience bloomed from kinship. The villagers move through their tasks with a rhythm that reflects the natural world around them. Here, femininity and masculinity exist in balance, each role holding equal significance, the dividing line blurred beneath the shared labor. Each strike of the mallet, each push of plow or paddle, rebuilds not just structures, but spirits resilient to the cracks. Time occasionally stitches into living. Children, ever curious and full of wonder, become apprentices in this age-old ritual, their small hands gaining confidence with each day's lessons, learning resilience from action and watching reparative alchemy unfold. They glide through it all with innocence temporary historians of hope, cataloguing this generation's endurance, weaving strength from the sinews of every story. The wisdom of this endeavor wraps them like vines, a passing of the baton. Historians remain fascinated by how communities like this come together so effectively, how the adage of "it takes a village" resonates across endless horizons and generations. In this small corner of the world, remember how vital it can be, as life becomes not just about personal gain, but communal well-being. The rebuilding reinvigorates trade routes with neighboring villages, weaving a fabric stretched across valleys and hills. Caravans ferry supplies, weaving tales of similar tales and dissatisfaction turned determination, binding fragile societies into a more resilient, complex whole. Barter systems encompass more than materials, they become ornaments decking humanity's undeniable inclination toward togetherness. Amidst this tapestry of renewal, you are struck by the rituals the villagers embrace to commemorate this cornerstone of shared strength. Trees are planted in new grooves, their roots destined to entwine and symbolize a future often courted by dreams, secured by effort. As farmers sow seeds, every gesture is heavy with hope and promise, each row a testament to tomorrow's feast, written in fingers graffitied by soil. The sun ascends its arc across the sky, painting the village in light both literal and symbolic. Echoing through observations of renewal, you witness not just the physical acts of construction, but a broader symbolic vote cast for life's permanency and embodiment of a sacred inevitability written through eons. Reflecting on the poignancy of this cycle where injury to the land meets healing hands, you start to envision this architecture not just as houses and paths, but as conduits for continuity, vessels of strength flowing through facades and shelters wrapped securely round bygone aspirations. Their narratives intertwine among energetic spirits living moment to moment within temporal communal warmth. As daylight wanes, the once fragmented landscape, a montage reimagined through the villagers' labor, finds cohesion. The dawn of new spaces emerges from twilight shadows as structures bridge the gap between past and future. Though farming terraces, like woven lengths worn smooth, stripe horizons just beyond view, promise spins forever beneath Earth's turning axis, where every step taken papers the borders of history. In stillness, the restorative power of homecoming wraps tightly at moment's cusp. Houses reconstructed, gardens replanted, rivers rerouted anew. Lives explored along the deep braid of streams reawakening. Reclaiming whispers, uttered alongside hope's quiet avenue, you lay your head down to rest, reassured by the knowledge that life here will endure, supported by a strength honed through centuries of repeated trial and renewal. In dreams, you walk through crafted arcs now colored with optimism's brush, soothed by a harmony spun from community resilience, lacquered with love and effort. Sweet dreams, comfort visions of continuity, gathering strength from twice-told tales entwined among starlight's embrace. As the cycle of rebuilding progresses, the village embarks on another essential journey, the healing of its collective spirit. This process moves with the same deliberate grace with which they restore their tangible world. It is a passage punctuated by time, shared stories, empathy, and a resilient hope that kindles like embers in a hearth. The villagers gather under the shade of a great cedar tree, a constant sentinel of their past and a witness to their present. Here, surrounded by the comforting whispers of leaves rustled by the breeze, they sit in circles, embracing the space to speak of loss, fear, and dreams deferred. It is an open forum, where vulnerability finds strength in numbers, where the simple act of listening can become a balm. The healing process is akin to weaving threads of sorrow, intertwined with strands of solace. Through words and silence, the villagers craft a tapestry of emotional support. Each sharing becomes both an unburdening and an affirmation, stitching rifts that the wave has left in its wake. They draw sustenance from one another, turning isolation into inclusion with every confession and wordless nod of understanding. The village priest plays a crucial role here. With an aura of patience and empathy, he facilitates these gatherings, weaving philosophies from the temple into the practicalities of daily living. His prayers are gentle reminders of life's cyclical nature, celebrations of impermanence that encourage the villagers to find meaning even within transience. Rituals involving incense, symbols of purification, weave their way into collective consciousness like a soothing melody. Children, too, are part of this healing circle, cradled in arms both maternal and paternal. Their youthful presence is both grounding and uplifting, a reminder of life's continuity and the potential that clings to every dawn. You observe as they clamber onto laps, their innocent questions breaking the surface tension of solemnity and pulling reluctant smiles into daylight. The healing ridge carves between present challenge and ancient reminder, a buoy to the future. Amid these exchanges, humor surfaces to remind them that life, even at its darkest, can still invite laughter. The absurdity of minor inconveniences becomes the catalyst for shared chuckle-san unexpected plot twist involving a rogue chicken or a breeze that mischievously topples a carefully stacked pile of wood. It is this laughter that attests to the enduring spirit of humanity, a note of joy that declares hope's perseverance. As stories flow, there's talk of dreams for the futura, resilient declaration of intentions pursuing threads across time's tenuous shores. Villagers articulate visions of bountiful harvests, weddings, children growing up within the safety of their community. These stories are seeds, planted with care into the fabric of collective memory, destined to grow and bloom beneath the nurturing light of renewed determination. The older villagers, weathered guardians of tradition, urge patience along this healing path. They recount their own experiences, colored by the passage of years and the enduring wisdom that tempers life's harsher realities. Here is a gallery of resilience painted in their tales, a kaleidoscope of understanding that frames each person's contribution to the healing collective soul. The passing of time becomes both mentor and companion on this pilgrimage of heart hued by tide and earth's turning. Historians might debate if these gatherings held more psychological or community value, yet in this village, their power is unequivocal. The shared process of healing becomes a tapestry holding each connected life along its seamsa, living testament to the resourcefulness of spirit. Through moments of solace shared beneath this benevolent tree's branches, they find renewal in their love for the land, a reverence for the space they protect as stewards, fathers, mothers, sisters, and brothers. In appreciating the simplicity and patience required to heal, they craft mosaics of resilience from the myriad emotions that weave today's truths across tomorrow's hopes. An understanding dawns across the gathered faces like the sun from horizon to browline, birthing confidence between linked hands. For this village and its people, there is no hasty repair, the mending of hearts akin to the slow, careful placement of roof tiles after a storm. Time, itself a gentle balm, comforts their passage, allowing new laughter, stories, and adventures to graft onto the whispers of the great wave, leaving a tapestry of restoration. As day fades to twilight, shadows lengthen beneath the trees, holding whispers of memory and promise. With dusk enveloping the gathered company, the villagers retire to their homes, carrying hearts fortified by renewal's comforting embrace. Weary yet uplifted, softened by camaraderie, birthed through shared moments. When you lay down your head to rest, it's with a sense of gratitude witnessed among this gathering, a reminder that healing transcends isolation by flipping its meaning. Sweet dreams arrive softly, carrying within their folds the echoes of shared resolution, offering peace and renewal through carefully cradled aspirations. Through dreams woven with resilience, journey flows onward into dawn's call. As the village continues its journey of healing, the cycle of the seasons brings with it the omnipresent challenge of food and famine, an age-old struggle that tests the resourcefulness and resilience of even the most prepared communities. In this 15th century village, where every harvest is both a victory and a gamble, the art of providing sustenance becomes a nuanced dance with naturalia, choreography of necessity that dictates the rhythm of life. The villagers rise with the sun, their hands well acquainted with the soil and its moods. The fields are a canvas of cultivated effort, where rice paddies shimmer with the promise of sustenance. Each stalk sways in the breeze, a fragile testament to the villagers' labor and hope. Here, agriculture is not just a means of survival, but an act of faith, a continuous dialogue with the earth that beseeches abundance while preparing for scarcity. You notice the meticulous care with which resources are managed. Every grain of rice, every fish caught, becomes a precious commodity. The village employs techniques born of ingenuity and ancient wisdom, crop rotation, storage methods that rival modern preservation techniques, and an intricate understanding of the land's cycle that turns potential famine into a lesson in foresight. The communal nature of food production means that all hands, regardless of age or status, contribute to the collective pantry. Children scamper through fields, eagerly learning from elders who impart their knowledge with patient hands and guiding words. The planting of seeds is accompanied by tales of harvests past, each word a seed itself, nurturing future generations with lessons of endurance and gratitude. There is an art to the food stored here, with preservation methods passed down through generations, a testament to their necessity-driven creativity. Fish is salted and hung to dry, rice is carefully husked and stored in cool, dark spaces, and vegetables are pickled, each jar a promise against the uncertainty of the future. The scents of smoke, salt, and ferment hover in the air, mingled with the sharpness of the sea breezeer sensory bouquet that speaks to both sustainability and survival. Even as they navigate these practicalities, the villagers' relationship with sustenance is not devoid of ceremony or joy. Communal meals are a sacred tradition, transforming the act of eating into a celebration of life's abundance, a reprieve from the shadows of scarcity. Simple yet earnest, these gatherings are infused with laughter and gratitude, echoing reminders of the strength found in unity, transforming necessity's austere nature into opportunity's nurturance. Celebrations are marked by feasts that showcase the bounty of the land and sea. These occasions, imbued with spirituality, elevate the simple act of sharing into an expression of reverential tribute to the challenges overcome and the blessings acknowledged. The joy of these events sweeps through the village like a warm wind, lifting spirits and fortifying resolve. In the quieter moments, you see ingenuity manifest in the kitchensa, dance of hands baking, boiling, and steaming with a purpose that transcends mere sustenance. Meals are seasoned with more than spices. There's humor too, found in the creative substitutions made when a staple is lacking, a testament to the adaptability that has become second nature in this community. Historians still debate the factors that contributed most to the resilience of such communities during times of scarcity. Was it innovation, communal support, or perhaps a combination of both? Here, it seems academic musings give way to lived experience, where perseverance woven through seasons transforms anxious lines into laughter's silken threaden, alchemy profound, as fermentation's gift across nature's wide-eyed gaze. The balance between scarcity and abundance is as delicate as a tune plucked from a koto, resonating through the village with the promise of change, a reminder that life's provisions are both capricious and generous. Here lies the steadfast acknowledgement of nature's duality, where each cycle's capricious turn may bring exultant harvest or contemplate the austere grace of hunger's prairiet. These people move forward, undaunted, their resilience writ large upon both horizon bow and concaved valley. As you reflect on these practices, you find parallels with your world of modern dance, where convenience sometimes veils the sustained effort once required. In this village, the focus is as much on gratitude for provision as on the clever orchestration of resources, an art that you appreciate amidst the comfort of your supermarket aisles. When daylight wanes, the village settles into a hushed peace, burdened tasks momentarily lightened by camaraderie, shared stories, and collective dreams. The fallow earth reflects the shared sigh of relief, knowing that through nature's enigmatic cycles, the villagers will persist in their loving nurturancia, resilient tribe, born of sustenance and spirit. As you prepare to rest, the quiet assurance that tomorrow will bring another opportunity for renewal cradles you gently. With each heartbeat, a reminder of life's interconnectedness and the nourishment found in shared existence is vividly penned by tenacious trust. Sweet dreams await, carrying whispers of abundant hope woven from seeds of togetherness and gracia, testament to humanity's enduring ability to transform scarcity into a symphony of plenty. As the dawn stretches its golden fingers across the village, awakening the earth with its gentle touch, the delicate dance of economy begins anew. Here in 15th century Japan, survival extends beyond the immediacy of harvests and into the subtle choreography of trade and barter systems that sustain the village's beating heart. The economy, precarious yet fluid, operates on principles that transcend mere transaction, weaving social bonds into the fabric of daily life. In this world, currency is not merely coin but trust, reputation, and the silent vow that one's word holds weight against time's shifting sands. The exchanges that animate this economy are conducted with remarkable fluidity and grace, their complexity shaped by necessity and a profound understanding of human connection. Every trade, every gesture within the market, becomes not just an economic transaction but a shared story. The market, the village's economic hub, hums with life early in the morning as villagers gather to exchange goods and news. It's a lively scene where laughter weaves through the chatter. Each stall, an intimate stage, displays an array of offerings: freshly caught fish, woven fabrics, pottery, the colorful harvest of nearby fields. Buyers and sellers engage in an intricate dialogue, negotiations that strike a balance between need and neighborliness. Trust is the undercurrent that sustains these interactions, creating a tapestry of interdependence where wars are fought not with weapons but with wit and mutual respect. For those who wander among the stalls, it becomes clear that the village's economic structure is not just about survival. It's a dance of equilibrium, a means of fostering relationships that uphold the community through both lean and fruitful times. The fishmonger swaps salmon with the potter, promising a future favor when clay proves bountiful. Each promise made is a thread woven into the larger fabric, imbuing each service and trade with tangible warmth and goodwill. This economy isn't merely about supply and demand, or scaling random heights found in abstract graphs. Currency here is an intangible form, molded by reputation and trust, a living bank held collectively rather than individually. It's dynamic and shows a bewitching resilience only rivaled by nature herself, seemingly allowing adjustment with every season's impermanence. The villagers understand that shared endeavors nurture resilience against the caprices of time and consequence. As with all things human, humor dances among their transactions, gently dispelling tensions. A sly comment on a fish's size, a playful reminder of a pottery mishap last year, and suddenly both parties engage in laughter, sealing their business with a grinning handshake. These moments spin life's fraught intensity into lightness, exemplifying the power of humor to lubricate the friction in human commerce. Children scuttle between stalls, eyes wide with wonder. They learn by observation, absorbing lessons in resourcefulness and perseverance. They witness how trust circulates like currency, anchoring them to traditions and interactions that write history long before any ink has touched parchment. As the future traders and craftsmen of this village, their games mimic grown-up exchanges, their laughter mingling with the clinking of goods. Curiously enamored by the cooperative essence displayed everywhere, you reflect on practices within contemporary economies where anonymity often replaces face-to-face interaction, transactions shrouded by screens and algorithms. Would not handling each exchange with such tangible presence yield a richness and camaraderie every bit as valuable as profit margins? Villagers, ever adaptive, lean into the fluidity of their economy, particularly in the face of adversity. Recessions in today's financial markets have context, but in this era, unity buffers storms as much as reliance on bartered goods. Even amidst potential scarcity, there's a shared belief that no one would be left wanting, not when coins flounder, but when dependency floats breezes, drawing them toward shore. Historians often debate whether such systems were driven by necessity alone, or if, in fact, they cultivated a unique kind of wealth, richer in human experience than any treasure trove. Standing among these modest exchanges, it feels evident that in this village, economics is a dialogue as much about reaffirming communities as acquiring goods. As the sun lifts higher, casting its golden glow upon the bustling scene, the villagers continue their choreography of trade, weaving a web of reciprocity around the central flame of resilience. They remain attuned to the ebb and flow of each other's needs, reinforcing the invisible threads that bind them. When day gives way to twilight, you carry with you the profound recognition that economies are more than numbers and ledgers, they are lifelines. The unseen strands that unite lives through whispered promises and communal trust. Sweet dreams arrive to cradle your heart, warmed by visions of enduring connections, flourishing within life's shared tapestry of barter, promise, and kinship, where richness thrives through human alchemy. The village hums with a vitality infused by the rhythmic flow of everyday routines, yet beneath its surface lies a delicate counterpoint, the intricate dance of political dynamics. In 15th century Japan, where the political landscape is as fluid and unpredictable as the tides, the influence of power and governance permeates communal life, shaping destinies with both subtlety and gravity. The samurai, the village's noble protectors, and the ruling class maintain a formidable presence. Their role is not only martial but administrative, guiding the village through the complexities of allegiance and decree. The villagers, well aware of this hierarchy, navigate their interactions with awareness, honoring status through gestures and deference. Yet in these societal currents, there exists a nuanced interplay between authority and autonomy, a push and pull that defines their collective resilience. Political alliances extend beyond village borders, tying communities together through a tapestry of pacts and fealties, their nuances as intricate as the patterns woven into local kimonos. These agreements ripple through village life, impact carving paths on both communal choices and personal freedom. The sense of duty to one's daimyo, feudal, lord influences everything from military service to agricultural production, threading loyalty and obligation into the village's everyday actions. You perceive the subtle ways these dynamics manifest. In the careful words spoken in public gatherings, in the delicate expressions exchanged among village leaders, in the wary eyes that assess new arrivals bearing messages of political change. Even within the village's robust economy, politics cast a long shadow, altering trade routes or tipping the scale of resource distribution. Ironically, it prompts thought: must power always announce with flourish, or might its seeding bear familiar, gentle familiarity? The village council convenes at regular intervals, a microcosm of political interaction, where elders and leaders deliberate the community's direction. Here, everyone from the samurai to the farmer holds a voice. And while these assemblies pulse with the underlying energy of unspoken hierarchies, they are guided by a consensus that strives to preserve harmony. The council becomes a forum for deliberation and empathetic governance, where decisions are made with an eye toward the welfare of both the individual and the collective. There's an embracement of wisdom drawn from ages, where the slow, steady ripple of consensus often yields sturdier solutions. In the glow of lantern light, disputes and decisions traverse an alchemical journey, turning potential discord into cohesion, much like the gradual, inevitable bloom of cherry blossoms against winter's retreat. It's a profoundly relatable practice, and one that illustrates the values of patience and collaboration. While the political landscape weaves through daily life, it also creates a backdrop for rebellion, though not with sword-wielding revolutionaries, but through quiet acts of resistance. In hushed conversations held away from prying ears, you hear whispers of dissent, the tiny but mighty acts of defiance against the rigidity of authority. These quiet rebellions are seeds of change, sometimes fostering growth in unexpected strangers or uncharted directions. History debates how much influence common folk possessed within these systems, whether aligned with social classes' demands or tested beyond subtle subversion, acknowledged yet not derided. Yet within this village, agency intertwines delicately, braiding hope and temperance in chiaroscuro configurations, unique to tales universal. The samurai, stewards of order, wield both the sword and compassion as tools to administer justice. Their presence is an equilibrium that binds guilt with its antithesis responsibility, a mandate heavier than blade alone. Walking among them, you gauge interactions that blend duty with paternalistic guidance, a reminder that power remains deeply entwined with community well-being. As you observe this delicate dance, the irony of comparison to modern governance doesn't escape you. How political inertia often mirrors the unseen currents steering debates when authority balances transgression with governance, seeking harmony within society's diverse weave, sparking laughter at how even centuries part fail, rendering echoes silent. As the day wears on, you reflect upon the intimate interplay between power and existence, acknowledging that core tensions shaped by politics impact more than mere policy breathing into heritage, as invisible forces bearing consequence, felt tenderly betwixt flesh and memories yield. With evening falling upon the village, shadows lengthen under stars, illuminating pathways toward reflection and renewal. The villagers possess wisdom sharp yet gentle, recognizing that peace forged through trust diffuses imposed boundaries beyond politics, reshaping identity and history as firelight glows warmly against starlit tableau. Eventually, your journey enters the realm of dreams now, guided by the presence of authority converted into community's promiser, harbinger of lessons learned across ages, binding stories from ancient parchment to tomorrow's dawn. Sweet dreams cradle you beneath stars awash with constellated offerings, where unseen threads interlace political insight through history's indulgent embrace. As the days unfurl into weeks, the villagers uncover a profound truth hidden within the cyclical rhythm of their lives. Despite rebuilds, reparations, and recoveries, the dance with nature's capriciousness is an endless cycle. With each repetition, they are reminded that permanence is an illusion in this land, where the earth's movements orchestrate both creation and destruction. Within the heart of the village, life flows with a paradoxical blend of routine and resilience. Each dawn ushers in familiar tasks, yet all are viewed through a lens of ever-present awareness, a delicate balance between accepting what is fleeting and embracing the strength to start anew. The village pulse is attuned to resilience, held forward by insights like winds bearing hidden melodies. The cycle of change is not just a reminder of destruction, but a testament to human adaptability, a chance to evolve in symphony with the land. In response to past waves, new structures are erected with deeper foundations and angled roofs designed to sway like willows, bending but not breaking. History's whispers guide innovation, infusing lessons into tangible forms that reflect a spirit unyielding to destruction's flow. Among the elders, a shift in perspective emerges healers and storytellers who wield memory like an ancient shield against despair. They gather in intimate circles, sharing tales of past devastations and the rebuilding that followed. Their stories are not just words spun from yesteryears, but living maps, guiding the younger generation with a reassurance that each loss can nurture creation, each ending fertile with beginnings. The villagers accept the ebb and flow of fortune, their soul as vital as salt woven through ocean breezes. This tacit understanding of temporality deepens their appreciation for moments held for what they are, pendulums that swing across the arc between joy and sorrow. Within this wide embrace, laughter and silence stand equally celebrated, ringed round with friendships that endure cycles repeated forever. In moments of meditation, the village priest reminds them that impermanence is woven into the very tapestry of existence. His words echo across serene landscapes, blanketed in moonlight, comforting sonnet, juxtaposing nature's impartiality with time-bound grace. The villagers heed his insights, allowing the news of seasons to fill their souls like earth drink rain, birthing green life where earth seemed barren. Historians often debate whether such communities possess an innate will to adapt, or if cultural practices provide a framework to thrive amidst uncertainty. But here, where resilience is woven into the heart of their identity, such debates feel distant. The village embodies living testament to the notion that life's cyclical nature is neither curse nor cure, but a dance partner own, embraced by those who dare facing forward, eyes upon distant horizons. In quiet moments, humor emerges like sunlit ripples across the river. Children play in fields, once ravaged by waves' lament, their games a testament to life's indomitable spirit. The echo of laughter reflects resilience's heart buoyant within shared narrative, freighted with hope and wonder, channeled through generations wisely tuned together across future past rhythms they revere. The villagers, grounded within their shared rituals, invest in practices that sustain life's rhythms like the careful tilling of earth and the solemnity of harvest ceremonies. These traditions, like the ingenious ways they learn from each disaster, are infused with reverence threads linking community to heritage, words spoken to ancestors that underline timeless stories. You feel the pull of this cyclical knowledge, a whisper in your consciousness urging appreciation over predictability. Modern life, often braced against uncertainty, might hold lessons in learning to embrace gentle impermanency anchored in moments that blossom beyond hurried corners strewn with schedules. As the sun sets, painting the landscape in hues of subdued gold, the village breathes a sigh of contentment. The constancy of change may bend moments and memories, but within this calm remains enough space for dream-seach reflecting vibrant hues across starlit curves. You slip into sleep, where dream whispers guide paths folded gently through life's transiency endless river, carrying hopes downstream, dreams afloat beneath eternity's watchful eye. Here, sweet dreams encircle vignettes, softly singing reminders that existence is both mere instant and boundless canvas, reflections painted lovingly amid evening's sigh, beckoning you gently toward the sunrise. As the seasons transition, weaving their tapestry of time through the village, you begin to see how the cultural footprint of the tsunami lingers, casting its shadow across traditions and folklore. In 15th century Japan, where history often finds its voice through storytelling, The villagers harness narratives born from disaster, transforming memory into myth and song. As twilight settles, the village gathers around a flickering fire, where the glow of flames casts dancing shadows that seem to join in the storytelling, a silent chorus moving to an age-old rhythm. Elders, the guardians of memory, wield words as craftsmen use tools, their tales etched with the precision and artistry of a practiced hand. These stories blend truth and embellishment into a seamless continuum where past and present dialogue through metaphor. Legends of the Great Wave live on, carried by voices that shape the past into fables rich with symbolism. Heroes emerge within these yarns, standing against the tempest's fury with hearts as fierce as any samurai's steel, a testament to innate human bravery and hope. And within these heroic tales, practical lessons nestle the understanding of the sea's power and the necessity of reverence toward nature's caprice. The children sit wide-eyed, absorbing each word like sponges soaking up life's elixir. While their games carry echoes of adventure, it is within these tales that they receive their moral compass, learning courage, resilience, and respect for both the earth and each other. It's a foundation laid not in stone, but in narrative, a legacy ensured through the rhythms of shared stories. The adults, too, find solace in these gatherings. Each tale holds multiple strata of meaning, offering wisdom veiled as entertainment, reminders that the scars left by calamity can become tracks toward understanding. Even within these stories, humor dances, as villagers quip light-heartedly about cliché cliffhangers, familiar motifs, and absurd plot twists, threading laughter alongside nostalgia's somber weave. These narratives carry weight beyond the village as well. Historians debate folklore's role in shaping cultural identity, questioning whether myth serves to unify or obscure truth's clarity. Here, the answer seems woven into the very fabric of life's trees, act as vessels, carrying collective memory across time's threshold, grounding identity in continuity's soothing cradle, and uniting hearts within a shared tapestry. You feel the pull of these tales, sensing their power to transcend temporal and spatial boundaries. Realization that storytelling remains as fundamental now as it was then, a tool that forges connections across countries and centuries. In your modern world, where digital devices catalog experiences, there's a lesson here. Real human connection lies less in fact and artifact, more so in shared humanity's infinite page. As stories of the Great Wave fold into quieter times, you notice the talismans scattered throughout the village. Charms carved from wood or stone hang from eaves, swinging gently in the sea breeze, wards and whispers against future ire. These physical manifestations of stories past remind the villagers to be ever appreciative of life's preciousness, symbols, painted with remnants of tales and truths, converging twice over. The tsunami's legacy extends further into art forms like poetry, music, and theatria, living chronicle of mankind's creative dialogue with nature, each expression a bookmark in the broader story of survival and rebirth. Just as seasons shift, allowing new growth from earth held within winter's chill, the legacy of disaster blooms its kaleidoscope across communities as vibrant recollections tapestry. As night envelops the village, firelight creates its own narrativa, flickering warmth, embodying history's cyclical dance. Here, words and stories weave through stars, songlines tracing the heavens above, geographies once thought private, now claiming universal threads united beneath the cosmos, broadly spanned across twilight's sky. You surrender to sweet dreams, knowing that tomorrow brings another cycle of innovation and observation, yet tonight you dwell within this tapestry of stories that binds us all. Drift into sleep, dreams serenading your heart to life's symphony crafted by storytellers through humanity's journey across carved echoes. Let memory's moon guide you wrapped tenderly within tales spun timelessly from earth's embrace. Morning unfurls its gentle embrace over the village, and the stories of the past weave seamlessly into the present, guiding everyday actions and choices. This oral tradition informs the villagers' understanding of their world, yet another form of documentation etches itself into memory: record-keeping. Here in 15th century Japan, chronicling life transcends mere observation, becoming an art form that captures the essence of existence and the soul of the community. In a small, humble building near the heart of the village, the air is imbued with the aroma of ink, dark and rich, like a river flowing across pages. Inside, a scribe bends over a laid-out scroll, brushing careful strokes with an assurance born from practice, each character a drop in the inkwell of history. These chronicles capture the ebb and flow of village life, mapping everything from harvest yields and weather patterns to the births and marriages that weave the community together. The scribe, both observer and participant, wields his brush with a deft hand, translating oral narratives into visual permanence. His work is both creative and factual, blending poetic insights with meticulous accuracy. His records become a tapestry of words, bearing witness to the subtle intricacies of village life. Through his efforts, mundane occurrences are encapsulated alongside the extraordinary, knitting together an ever-evolving narrative for future generations. The villagers understand the power and importance of these records, perceiving them as a link through time's corridor's bridge between ancestors and descendants. Such records, often questioned for their accuracy by modern historians, nevertheless reflect a vibrant, subjective truth unique to their time. The villagers trust in these chronicles to maintain the integrity of their legacy, preserving wisdom in ink where memory sometimes falters. As you observe the scribe at work, his movements are rhythmic and meditative, each stroke upon the page a testament to the devoted labor that encapsulates a world erased and rebuilt by the tides. There's a reverence in his task, knowing that his work will inform decisions and future storytelling, an appointed guardian of memory's fleeting mirror. He doesn't conjure history only for the sake of knowledge, but emboldens it toward action and reflection. In addition to personal chronicles, sacred texts from the temple garner equal attention, prayers and chants inscribed to convey divine guidance. Such documents are revered and consulted when the village seeks the will of gods or arahats, finding within the scriptures a new layer of meaning upon each reading. The dividing line between text as fate's anticipation or sacred transcript leaves an indelible mark upon spiritual pursuits. There's humor in the human nature encapsulated within these pages, as well the claypot fiascos, comedic mishaps involving livestock, or market trades gone quirkily awry. These vignettes, nestled among profound moments, paint a picture far more nuanced, allowing future generations to laugh, sympathize, and learn from those who lived centuries before them. Parallel to structured record-keeping, less formalized mark-makings dot village life markings scribbled upon walls, forms of graffiti that blend the sacred, the rebellious, and the decorative. They capture moments of leisure or interpersonal dynamics, tales, New Year's festival echoes, snapshots of humor and emotion held in capricious anonymity. Consider modern parallels in today's digital age records. Social media, photo albums, blogs encapsulating entire lifetimes within virtual scrolls visible worldwide. While technology facilitates rapid dissemination and multidisciplinary analysis far-reachingly, here exists a stark realizing that true nuance lies unencumbered within voices, echoing intensely amidst unhurried cycles, celebrating the splendor of imperfection's candid reflection. The villagers, aware that time marches ever onward, continue their ritual of inscription with grace, knowing their work will inform, educate, and entertain long after their voices have fallen silent. The pages they fill today will still converse with hearts undared by brightness. Subtle conversations with ghosts of words, crafting determination slow, etched upon canvas, spun timeless. As another day yields to twilight's gentle embrace, the village quietly hums with lice, a testament to continuity powered by ink, brush, and canvas. Sweet dreams summon you into slumber's embrace. Tracing lines danced across memory's path, wisdom interwoven through scrolls unfurled beneath moon, piloted by virtue's sentiment. An endless retelling of life's beauteous tale wakes harmoniously amidst night's song, guiding you safely home again, cradled in words set free adrift through eternity. With each passing dawn, the village pulses with the stories and lessons of its past, growing stronger with every step into the future. As you watch from the banks of this historical tapestry, the echoes of the great wave resonate into modern times, offering vital insights and sparking profound reflection. In the dazzling array of the present day, the ancient struggles and triumphs of 15th century Japan illuminate paths forward, whispering truths that transcend time. The theme of resilience emerges vividly, a masterpiece painted by countless generations facing nature's relentless challenge. Modern societies, with their towering cities and advanced technology, seek to harness this timeless quality, crafting systems capable of equaling the fortitude demonstrated long ago. The villager's experience underscores the necessity for adaptive resilience, urging us to anticipate cycles and learn from disruption. Today's urban landscapes are dotted with skyscrapers designed with resilience in mind, anticipating events like earthquakes and floods. Innovative materials and engineering capture the agility of bamboo and the elasticity of willow, echoing the ancient architecture born from necessity. It's an enduring dialogue between echoes of resilience past and contemporary ingenuity. Whether framed in exceptionalism or humility, this conversation reveals humanity's ability to meet challenges consistently through fluid invention, cross-pollinated through ages. As you reflect on the past's enduring influence, the principles of community and collectivism practiced by the villagers serve as a guiding light in our interconnected world. In an era where global challenges demand collaborative solutions, the importance of community comes to the forefront, bridging borders, societies, and ideologies to tackle existential threats. When nations unite to address issues like climate change or humanitarian crises, they follow the age-old wisdom that no person stands truly alone. A village writ large. Beyond this realization lies a renewed appreciation for the role of culture and education as vehicles for growth. The elders' storytelling tradition, intrinsic to the village life you observed, imparts knowledge and preserves identity. Today's educational landscapes mirror these foundational practices by emphasizing shared stories, intertwining past and present, ensuring that wisdom born of diverse cultures becomes common heritage. In preserving these traditions, cultures can flourish in complexity and depth, rather than diminishing through compartmentalized specialism. As you navigate the tensions threading modern life, you see how technology, the current era's compass, serves as both blessing and burden. While it allows for swift communication across oceans and facilitates problem-solving on new scales, there's caution to be heeded in maintaining authentic human connection within digital architectures. Here, the lesson of balance found in the village echoes loudly, reminding us of the harmony to be found within the interplay of relationships, purpose, and advancement across humanity's evolving tableau. And yet, humor remains a constant thread throughout history, universal balm against tensions innate to life's Faustian bargain. The villagers, in their humble sincerity, remind us to maintain levity amid adversity. It's a principle embraced in your own journey, finding laughter between meetings, embracing moments of absurdity as lifelines conducive to weaving forward. In connecting laughter's melody along innumerable branches, nurturing forest depth unbounded, resilience becomes music written where vertebrae feel less solid. Historians explore whether modern societies possess an enhanced ability to learn from history, or whether the cyclical nature of challenges determines life's rhythm. Nevertheless, as you mediate on the great wave's lessons, you appreciate how past wisdom has evolved, shaping contemporary strategies and values that anchor individuals within a tumultuous sea. As the day draws toward its close, you witness the village from your mind's eye one last time, knowing its legacy will continue to ripple through the corridors of memory into future horizons. Sweet dreams invite themselves across your thoughts, guided by these eternal truths and timeless connections, enveloping you in the warmth of understanding. Here, beneath starlit night skies, reverence unites with reflection, ushering peace, as chords hover tethered just beyond night's soft breath. Night deepens, and as the village fades into shadows, you find yourself wrapped in the comforting embrace of ancient wisdom and timeless lessons. The journey through time to 15th century Japan, with its profound tales of survival, resilience, and unity, has sparked reflections that dance gently within your mind's eye. The words and whispers of this place linger, offering solace as they guide you into the tender arms of sleep. A gentle tranquility envelops you now, a lullaby of past and present intermingled. The village, with its cycles of challenge and renewal, has become a symbol of humanity's eternal dance with nature. The tale of the great wave has been more than a story. It has become a narrative thread, stitching together echoes of perseverance that transcend epochs, binding generations in shared understanding and shared hope. These centuries-old lessons resonate in today's world, where every struggle and triumph is built upon the foundation of our predecessors' experiences. The village's people, indomitable and compassionate, embody the spirit that connects us all, reminding us of the strength found in community bonds and the beauty in collective action. They have shown that true wealth is not measured by material gain, but by the depth of relationships and the commitment to shared well-being. Drowsiness paints soft strokes across your mind, inviting you to sink deeper into a tapestry of dreams. The village's laughter and resolve, etched into its landscape like cherished sigils, cradle your journey, transforming history's melodies into a sleep-bound symphony. The echoes of their stories have become your companions, guiding you gently to the quietude where dreams unfold within twilight's tender care. With a softened heart and restful eyes, you embrace these moments of stillness where night whispers timeless truths. A gentle breeze carries vision songs sung by the seas, and stories penned by resilient Hansas. Your dreams are buoyed by shared aspirations of peace and harmony across time's oceans. In this serene space, the cyclical nature of life turns tender once more. You drift into restorative slumber, trusting that with each sunrise comes a renewed opportunity to cherish the bonds that unite us, bonds woven through time's endless fabric. Sweet dreams now. Page-turner of epochs, embrace them as remnants of humanity's legacy in woven life, held tenderly beneath a star-embroidered sky. Sweet dreams.